doing, folks? Welcome back. It's been a while. I think the reason for that is we're starting to feel the sting of the supply chains on these figures coming out of Asia because of COVID, and a lot of the figures that I pre-ordered have been delayed, and one came in by surprise. DHL just delivered it a few minutes ago, and this is from Kaustic Plastik. These guys are out of Italy. Great stuff. I mean, just by looking at the box, I think the detail is going to be above standard, definitely above standard, but closer to more outstanding. But let's take a look at this figure and see what we got. I almost forgot, before we get to the main attraction, I wanted to show you two figures that didn't come in a box. They're more custom job, so I didn't do a video on them. So the first one is this gorgeous looking figure. This is Stay Classy America limited edition 1/6 figure presented by Marlin Designs. I had ordered a small batch of this off of Sideshow Freaks, one of the forums. This guy popped up and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about making a Anchorman figure. Who would be interested?" And there was some pretty good interest. This is 8 out of 10. So he offered a few different options. One was, I think, the head only. I think the other one was the full body and accessories, deluxe version, everything. And then what I ordered was just the head and shoes and clothing set. And I bought a big figure body separately and put this together. But I mean, this is just outstanding. Now, I had to wait. My gosh, I was complaining about this in one of my videos, actually. I had to wait over 3 years. There's just delay after delay. The communication was okay as far as the updates, but they didn't disappoint. And I think I paid, I want to say around $400 something for just the clothing and headset. But this is a rare one, and I love it a lot. So the second one I wanted to show you is a custom that I put together, and this is in the spirit of the new reboot of the Top Gun movie, or the sequel, should I say. I did a Tom Cruise Maverick from the original Top Gun in the 80s, and I ordered the head. That was probably the most expensive part. I think the head was $120, and that's a custom job. I think it was out of Korea. They're small batch as well. They're not mass produced, but the detail on it is just amazing. Good likeness. It's hard to find a young version of Tom Cruise as far as the heads on the internet. No shortage of Mission Impossible era heads, but young Tom Cruise from the 80s, very rare. And the glasses I got separately, those were about $15, and they're wireframe. And then the suit is actually from a BBI figure that I got off eBay for, I think it was about $70. And I bought a $16 body to go with it. But the detail on the accessories and the suit is very good. And I got the patches separately as well. Those are custom patches, and they are in alignment with what is in the film. So I took a lot of photo stills and from the film and looked at the different dimensions of the suit and made sure I did the placement of the patches appropriately. Got his name on there as well. Yes, Navy. Amazes me how many people think that this is an Air Force movie, and kind of lose sight of the fact that the plane is launching off an aircraft carrier and it's a Navy plane. So he's a Navy pilot. That's a great figure as well. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So I'm excited to have this figure just because it reminds me of a little inside scoop about my past. I used to be Caesar at Caesar's Palace. So yes, I walked around with Cleopatra and took photos with people, and made speeches on the stairs of the casino floor, and this figure reminds me of that quite a bit. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Very furry. Okay. Let's see. So the figure's pretty interesting. I'm hoping that I could tame a lot of this fray that's going on here, because he looks kind of like a Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz right now. Let's see. So there's some good stitch work on the sandals, and the bottom is sort of leather, sort of plastic. I can't tell, but the lacing all the way up is nice. I'll probably trim that a little bit because it's a little long, but there's some nice stitch work pattern in there. They could have easily painted that on and been done with it, or even made the whole thing sculpted and slip on. Stitch work on the vest is real. That's nice. It also runs up along the sides. You got skirt underneath. Yeah, this is kind of weird. They probably should have boxed this differently so that it didn't do this as it was resting in the box for transport. And yeah, but it's going down pretty easy. Maybe I could even steam it a little bit to take that out. These little strands, though, these will have to be individually combed out, and there's a little bit of fray, falling apart a little bit. Not too happy about that, but I understand what they were trying to do. All right, let's see what else we have going on here. Oh, forgot to mention. Yeah, I don't know who this is supposed to be. I mean, maybe this is a historical likeness to the actual historical figure. It's a nice head sculpt. I'm pretty basic, but it does the job. We'll lie that down. So pretty simple set of instructions here. Bending, warnings. All right on the top here we got a sword. It is metallic, not plastic, so that's nice. It's interesting. So it looks like the sculpt of the handle is a little basic. It's not very. It looked like it was done pretty quickly. It's not very symmetrical, and there's some disproportionate lines in there. So it could have been done a little bit cleaner. But I like that it's metal. One of my pet peeves is getting a sword that's made out of plastic these days. Oh, very nice. So this is the chest armor, and just beautiful sculpting on that. The detail of the characters on there, and the armor, like hieroglyphics in an Egyptian pyramid. The stories on the armor, it has significance. Beautiful. It looks like it just unbuckles. You looks like you do have to unbuckle it and then rebuckle it. It's leather type material, very nice. Made out of plastic. It's not metal. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be. It would have been a nice touch. Then we have, a little heavy. This is metal. This is gorgeous. So here is the helmet, and my gosh, how extravagant. It's got the lacing at the bottom for under the chin strap. It flaps around. It's attached by, looks like a hinge, metal hinge. But the whole thing is made out of metal. It's got some good weight to it. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous helmet. Very impressive. All right. So interestingly, they gave you two arms. And it looks like the difference between the arms. All right, so they both bend the same. So I guess it's the hinging. So that one has a silent hinge, I like to refer to it, and this one has a prominent hinge, where it's three hinge rather than two hinge. Maybe that's I guess that's for bendability, because this one only pretty much goes a little bit past 90 degrees, and because this is three hinge, it goes up much further. So if depending on what you're trying to do with the pose, this could give you a lot more options. You got 2 additional sets of hands, open and fisted. Is that it in there? Yep, that's it in there. A few more loose strands from his uniform. All right, looks like you got the separate toga. Yeah, so here's the toga, and you've got this portion as well. Great stitching on there as well. Very nice. No shortcuts there. I love it. These guys did a great job. I think some of it, I mean, because this company comes out of Italy, I think a lot of it was national pride. You know, this is part of their history. They took a lot of pride in putting this figure together. Okay. Oh, and this is the cape. So here's the toga version. Sort of his leisure wear, I guess you could say. And then, as you could see, for the cape, it's draped behind him when he's in full battle gear. Very nice. Good material. Good weight on the material. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Okay, so you have... Looks like... I mean, these are sculpted. They don't separate, but it looks like a pack of sticks. And then there's an axe attached to it. And it's not in any of the photos, so I don't know exactly how this is supposed to function. Interesting. Here's his staff. Not metal, it's all plastic. But pretty good sculpting on that. Could have used a little bit more refined detail. But to the average person, that's some excellent sculpting. All right, we got another sword. And this one is also metal. The sheath is plastic. That could have been metal as well, but maybe it would have added too much weight to the figure. I don't know. It looks metallic anyway. That's good enough for me. But the sword is metal. Very nice. Straps around. Very similar to the one that I wore as Caesar at Caesar's Palace. You got this as well. I imagine this goes across his chest. It seems a little delicate. Yeah. So it's don't bend it too much if you get this figure, because it's starting to come up a bit. The glue on this. These metal pieces are glued individually on this leatherette strap, and so it has a little stiffness to it, and if you try to break that stiffness up too much, it looks like it starts to come undone, so be gentle with that. But that is metallic on top of there. Nice gold metallic. And then you have the Legions of Rome stand. Pretty basic. You don't need too much to that. Anything else in here? No. All right, so let me put this figure together. So we got all the accessories attached and whatnot, and do a final reflection on it. All right, so here's the figure complete, and I'd say that the chest piece isn't too hard to get on. It's a matter of disconnecting the 2 straps on each side. But the presentation is just amazing on this figure. The attention to detail, the use of materials. I'd have to say that the only criticism I really have for this figure is maybe the use of the material on these strands. Maybe make them a little bit more higher quality and heavier so that they don't bunch up like this. And then also making a wire lining on the bottom of the cape so that you can sculpt it a little bit more. That's kind of the standard with capes for figures these days. So it could use that wire stranding at the bottom to shape it a little bit better, make the curve. But other than that, I mean, I'd give this figure a 9 out of 10. I mean, it really is nice. Like I said, it brings back memories of my Caesar days. And also, I did look up what this bundle of sticks and axes, and it's meant as a symbol of power and authority in Roman times. So even though there's no photos of this on the Caustic Plastic website of how this is supposed to be featured with the figure, a little bit of research did provide me some more detail. And so it's also in the description of the items that come with the figure. So it's not like something that just appeared in the packaging out of nowhere. It was just a little confusing to me initially. So very nice addition there. I don't know if I'd pose the figure with this, but nice to have nevertheless. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to be able to bring you another figure sometime soon.